What is up, crypto fam? It's Herbie's Breadloaf here. Are you tired of watching 30-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute YouTube videos just to find some of those alpha leaks? Well, I was. So that's why I made 5-Minute Alpha, a series of YouTube videos that gives you juicy alpha in your face in 5 minutes or less. Happy Tuesday, crypto fam. It's Herbie's Breadloaf here. I know yesterday's video was a little bit negative, a little bit of FUD, but you know, I love this community, and I want to make sure that I give you the best opportunity to make money, not lose money. And so that's why sometimes I come out with negative videos. Today is going to be the exact opposite. Today I am super excited to bring you a very positive project that I'm looking forward to, Project Europa. And so here is their website, projecteuropa.finance. This is a new protocol that has not launched yet. Right now, you can see from their timeline, discovery to refueling to launch, that they're going to be launching on February 17th, which is a tentative date, and they're going to be launching on the AVAX blockchain. So today we're going to talk about what Project Europa is, why I am excited about it, what are some limitations or some concerns I might have, and then how we can participate in this. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's look at their white paper. And so you guys know I love to look at white papers. This is where you really find out what a project is made out of, and I'm very impressed by the Project Europa white paper. It's beautifully designed, it's very elegant, it has some awesome art. They do talk about the different problems that other protocols similar to theirs have had, and so this is basically a node-based DeFi as a service protocol, very similar to Strong or Thor. And so you can see that the problem that they're trying to tackle is these high APYs, as well as the inflationary pressure, this selling pressure that other forks of Strong have, similar to Ring. Ring obviously rugged, so this is something that they even talk about, you know, regular rug pulls, unsustainable APYs, and so they're very cognizant of these things. They're very aware of what the community has been through, and so they want to address those concerns. I also like the fact that they're adding in gamification, and so let's go ahead and look at what they plan to do. So they plan to come out with NFTs, and these NFTs, they talk about how the NFTs are almost used like a passport. So this is going to be your identity entering and interacting with the protocol. And so you can have different NFTs. You don't have to just have one, but you can only use one at a time. And so that's really interesting, right? So you're going to have your Project Europa identifier NFT, which they say right here. And then you're going to use that to interact with the protocol. You're going to buy Orbit, which is their token, which has not been released yet. It is not on Dex Screener. And then you're going to use that Orbit to buy a node, very similar to Strong or Thor. An interesting layer that they have here is to add a cooldown timer. So you can't just pop over, you know, buy a ton of Orbit. Like a whale can't just buy a ton of Orbit and make like 100 nodes all at once. So there's a cooldown timer. So after you make a node, there's a certain period of time that you have to wait before you can make another node. You can keep auto compounding to make higher tiered nodes. And so that's interesting, right? It's encouraging people to start from the very bottom with small bags and build their way up and keep auto compounding. The auto compounding helps reduce the sell pressure as well. And so they also talk about population control. So this is really interesting as well. They're going to stem the tide. They're going to reduce the number of nodes that can be created all at once. So this is something that's really interesting in terms of also limiting how many NFTs can be minted. And those NFT fees will be directly redistributed to this treasury, as well as a small allocation to the artists, which I really love to see. You know, I feel like artists a lot of times do not get their fair share in the crypto world, and so I really love seeing protocols paying their artists a reasonable amount. And so this part is probably the part that excites me the most, is this gamification. It's almost like a role-playing game, like RPGs, where you can level your NFT, and with leveling your NFT and gaining experience, you can boost maybe the APRs or the profits that you get from your nodes, and so that's really interesting. Another thing is that, man, these NFTs are beautiful. They look awesome. And so this art is extremely nice. They talk about the basics of NFTs right here. Let's keep scrolling on down. So this is what I was talking about with the variable cooldown dynamics. This is not so clear right now. They haven't really outlined exactly what the cooldown is. They do say it's determined by a number of things. So it's determined by, you know, the price action of the token, how the token is doing, how many nodes have been created. And so I'm not sure if this is something that's going to be determined by, let's say, an algorithm, or if the team is going to be actively monitoring this and changing the cooldowns by themselves by hand. Most likely it's going to be a combination of both. There's probably going to be an algorithm or a smart contract that keeps track of these variables, and then the team will kind of tweak or adjust that smart contract as conditions change. And so that's really interesting because I want to see how that compares to things like Thor. Thor has an amazing community, and they have really built this awesome protocol. But again, they're suffering from huge selling pressures, right? So people who have the top tier Thor nodes, which are Odin's, they are pretty much selling a lot of their rewards. And so that's something that these node projects want to avoid, right? So this is basically, you could think of it as a Thor or a strong fork, but with some different additions. And so here you have your different tier nodes. You have tier 1 nodes, you have tier 2 nodes, and tier 3 nodes. Another thing that's really interesting is that you can buy them outright, especially the cheapest one at 10 orbit. And what you can do is you can use that to compound. So you see right here, if you want to go to level 2, you're going to need 10 of the tier 1 nodes. So that's going to take a lot of that cooldown dynamic. It's going to take you a long time to get those 10 tier 1 nodes. You can buy it outright. You can buy it for 140 orbit, but they do say that they're going to heavily tax people who don't go through this process, don't go through the cooldown dynamics. They're going to tax those people on top of this price. But it's really interesting because obviously the more expensive nodes, like tier 2 nodes, tier 3 nodes, you get a really big APR incentive. And so you want those nodes, right? But depending on how much that tax is, we don't know how much that tax is right now. Depending on how much that tax is, it might actually be more worth it to start with the tier 1 nodes and keep engaging with the protocol, interacting with the protocol, and auto compounding, building up to that tier 3 nodes. So that is a really good way to keep users, investors engaged in your protocol for the long term, keep them in there with their investments dedicated to the protocol instead of just taking profits and dumping on everybody. And so I really like that because it also helps prevent whales from dumping on us, which has been a problem in other protocols. Again, this is a really nice roadmap. They talk about different parts of the ecosystems like NFT perks, the treasury, the different nodes, as well as the user. And so I'll let you guys read through that. But basically their roadmap, they're pretty much, very close to being done with this. They have already done the initial auctions and the early access NFTs. I think they finished the audit. I need to double check on that, but they've done AMAs. One of their team members has actually already doxed themselves just today, actually, and I will show you guys that video. And so I'm very excited for this to launch very soon. And that's pretty much the end of the white paper. Let's go ahead and look at their Twitter. So they're very active on Twitter. And again, I'm really, really impressed by their marketing and their different, here's the docs of one of their team members. And so if you just go to their Twitter, Project Europa, you can find all of these videos. It's really awesome. I'm actually going to show you guys one of them that I like the most. Yeah, so that video is really cool, and we're going to go ahead and go over to a different one, another video right here where they show actually the UI of the protocol, which has not been launched yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So that was awesome. I mean, I love the design. I love the different parts of the protocol that I see there. I love the whole UI. I love that you can customize your NFT before minting. And so these are things I'm really excited about for this protocol. They do talk about tokenomics, and you guys know that I love talking about tokenomics. So again, they talk about the different tiers. They talk about the heavy tax of buying different tiers instead of auto compounding or building up over time. They also talk about the creation of each tier and where that money goes. And so this is really transparent, right? So most of the money is obviously going to the treasury, and then some of it is going to liquidity, some of it is going to the team. A very small percentage is going to the team, 2% for the tier 1s, 5% for the tier 2s and tier 3s, and then a good amount for future protocols and updates as well. And so also when you do Cooldown, you can actually pay to reduce the amount of time that you cool down for. And so it's really interesting because they can also use that money to fight inflation or fight different things, dilution of the token. And so here they even talk about what they're going to do with the treasury. They're going to use it for proven yielding investments, as well as futures trading. I don't have much experience with futures, but I know it can be very profitable. It's also very risky. So that's something that's very interesting. It's a small portion of their treasury. So excited to see what that might bring. Again, that direct token tax is actually going to be 15%. So if you buy it without auto compounding, then you're going to get hit with a 15% tax. That's quite a bit. So that also goes to the team wallet as well as future developments of the protocol. And they talk about all of these different taxes. So you're also going to get hit with another 10% tax that will be applied when you take money out of the protocol. So taking your return on investment out. So this is really interesting. These are all different ways to fight this selling pressure that a lot of different protocols like Strong have seen. And so I'm really interested to see where this goes. I'm really interested to see how this project develops. I'm a big fan of the Avalanche blockchain. I'm a big fan of this art design, like I said, as well as the team. They've been very open. The last thing I wanted to show you guys is the secondary market for these NFTs. So this kind of shows just how popular I think this is going to be. This is some of the NFTs from their initial auction and from their alpha and beta access. So right now the floor price is 6,700 AVAX, which is a ton of money, right? That's in the hundreds of thousands of USD. Some of these went for 100 AVAX. Right now this platinum one, which still has 4 days left, is going for 200 AVAX as their last bid. And so you can see there are some whales that are really interested in this. Again, I'm very excited for this protocol. I'm going to be following this protocol as they launch, as they grow. And so look out for more videos that I release regarding Orbit and Project Europa. If you guys have any questions about the protocol, please leave any comments that you have in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching again. If you have not already, please like and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime there are new videos, especially if you're looking out for any update videos about Orbit or Project Europa. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be the first to know. I will see you guys in the next video.